And hello again there, RosterWatch Nation. It's your friendly neighborhood Trashman, and this is the Garbage Grab. Today, I'm going to be talking about handcuffs. Not the kind that you might be thinking of. I'm talking about football here. Keep your minds out of wherever else they might be. Because it's always about football here at RosterWatch. Anyways, I'm going to be talking about running back handcuffs. Who you should pick up if you have a top running back. If you should pick up anyone at all. Normally I don't really carry handcuffs for the most part. Most of us at RosterWatch don't, unless we're carrying someone else's handcuff in order to either trade for something that another team would want or to keep another team from taking advantage of one of our teams. But some people still like to roll with handcuffs, so I have some here for you. Let's go ahead and get started. Before we do that, though, make sure you pick up the 2020 RosterWatch Ultimate Draft Cheat Sheet, which is available now at RosterWatch.com. The revolutionary cheat sheet that changed fantasy football forever is back, only at RosterWatch.com. The RosterWatch Ultimate Draft Cheat Sheet, all you have to do is follow the 3 simple rules. That's it, 3 of them. Couldn't be easier. An expert quality fantasy football draft is guaranteed. The RosterWatch Ultimate Draft Cheat Sheet only at RosterWatch.com. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to be talking about the top 15 players this time around. On the next segment, the next installment of the Garbage Grab, maybe I'll get to the last half of the running backs here, but I'm just going to talk about the first 15 here. For brevity, I know you don't want to listen to me that long. I wouldn't either. I might want to look at me that long, though. I'm probably not that either. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started with number 1. It's Christian McCaffrey, who has a Week 13 bye. No must handcuffs for Christian McCaffrey owners. Mike Davis does look like the direct backup to Christian McCaffrey, but if McCaffrey was to go down with injury, Mike Davis, it's not likely that Mike Davis would become the bell cow back in Carolina. There'd be some combination of him and Reggie Bonifant. But if you have a deep roster, if you have the space, Mike Davis wouldn't be a bad add if you're very reliant on Christian McCaffrey this season. After him, we have Saquon Barkley of the Giants, a Week 11 bye. Dion Lewis is the closest thing we have to a handcuff in New York right now, but he's not a must handcuff. If Barkley were to go down, Dion Lewis and Wayne Gallman would probably share some of the load. I don't even know if Wayne Gallman's going to stay on the team. I wouldn't be surprised if they added a body at some point in the season, but Dion Lewis does look like the closest thing to a handcuff there for you Barkley owners. After Barkley, we have Ezekiel Elliott. And he does have a must handcuff, and that's Tony Pollard. Pollard might have some standalone value this season, although with the addition of CeeDee Lamb to the offense, there probably won't be a lot of targets to go around for Pollard, and he's kind of a pass-catching back, or at least we're depending on him to be for fantasy purposes. But if Ezekiel Elliott was to go down with injury, Tony Pollard would be the bell cow there in Dallas. So if you have the roster space, Tony Pollard is the man to handcuff for Ezekiel Elliott. After Ezekiel Elliott, Alvin Kamara of the Saints. And with recent news that Kamara hasn't reported to camp and may be considering a holdout, it's really important if you are a Kamara owner to pick up Latavius Murray. We saw last season just what Latavius Murray is capable of in relief of Alvin Kamara, and he has RB1 upside, RB2 upside at worst. So go ahead and pick up Latavius Murray if you can, if you're an Alvin Kamara owner. He probably won't have too much standalone value, though, so which is kind of the definition of a handcuff. He's not a standalone player for the most part. So if you're getting him, it's almost strictly for handcuff purposes. After Kamara, we have Dalvin Cook of the Vikings, a Week 7 bye. Must handcuff here, too. It's Alexander Mattison. We've also seen what Madison is capable of in relief of Dalvin Cook and it's a lot. Very high ceiling for Madison. Amari Abdullah is a low priority handcuff there in Minnesota. It looks like they're going to have to depend on the run a lot this season. Their offense doesn't look very good right now. So it's going to be the Dalvin Cook show most of the season. And we haven't really seen Dalvin Cook hold up for an entire season. So it's going to be important to pick up Madison if you can as his backup. After Cook, we have Derrick Henry of Tennessee, another week 7 bye. No must handcuff for Henry, although the Titans offense is going to be predicated on Henry. Darrington Evans is the closest thing we have to a handcuff for Henry. He's a might want a handcuff. And so if you're on a dynasty team, if you're on a keeper team, Evans makes more sense to add in that case. But I don't know that he's going to be the type of monster back that Henry is if he was to go down with injury. After Henry, I have Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I think that Darryl Williams is almost a must handcuff for Clyde Edwards-Helaire just because we've never seen Clyde Edwards-Helaire play a down in the NFL. And that's the main reason for that. A lot of people thought DeAndre Washington was going to be the direct backup, but by most accounts coming out of Kansas City, it's going to be Darryl Williams. Although he's kind of slow back, is familiar with the offense and is a decent pass catching back. Darryl Williams might actually end up having some standalone value. We can't expect Clyde Edwards-Helaire to handle all the touches in that Kansas City backfield because it's going to be an active backfield. So, if you have a roster spot late, maybe Darryl Williams is the pickup, and maybe even DeAndre Washington if you're feeling froggy, if you got a lot of space there on your roster. After Clyde Edwards-Helaire, you have Joe Mixon of the Bengals with a week 9 bye. Right now, it looks like Gio Bernard is the must handcuff for Mixon, who also might be considering holdout. He says he's been having migraines, but, I might be having migraines too if I wanted a better contract. So Gio Bernard is the must handcuff there, but I'm not really relying on Gio Bernard to fill the role that Mixon holds in that offense. So you might want to handcuff Travion Williams as well, or if you miss out on Gio Bernard, because there is a good chance that if Mixon goes down or holds out, Travion Williams could get some considerable touches in that offense. An improved Bengals offense, by the way. After Joe Mixon, you have Miles Sanders of the Eagles. Sanders, who has been out with a hamstring injury. It's of no little significance that is the case. You need to add Boston Scott to your roster if you're a Miles Sanders owner. There really isn't any depth behind Scott right now on that offense. Maybe they'll pick up Leonard Fournette. Who knows? But right now, Boston Scott is the direct backup to Miles Sanders, who is out with injury right now. And Scott could have some standalone value also, just because really it's just those two backs in the Eagles offense right now. So you can maybe expect him to get some considerable touches, maybe even double-digit touches. Who knows? If you have the space, add him. After Miles Sanders, we have Nick Chubb of the Browns. And as we know, Kareem Hunt is the second back in Cleveland, and then Kareem Hunt is no handcuff. He's a standalone value in his own right. So Nick Chubb doesn't really have a handcuff. You need to draft Kareem Hunt as if he was a standalone player. After Nick Chubb, we have Josh Jacobs of the Raiders. No must-have handcuffs, no might-want-to handcuffs there. Low-priority handcuffs for Las Vegas are Theo Riddick and Jalen Richard, both of whom are capable pass-catching backs. But right now, no must handcuffs for Josh Jacobs. After Jacobs, we have Kenyon Drake of the Cardinals. Chase Edmonds is a must handcuff for Drake, who, although had an insane last half of his last season, hasn't really been the main back on any NFL team for an entire season. So we don't know if we can trust him. We do know that Chase Edmonds is more than capable to carry the load in Arizona if Drake were to go down. So he is a must handcuff there. Benjamin is a might want to handcuff. If you got a keeper league, if you're in a dynasty league, you probably want him on your team somewhere. After Drake, we have Austin Ekeler of the Chargers. No must handcuffs, no direct handcuffs for Austin Ekeler. Justin Jackson and Joshua Kelly are in competition to be the number 2 back in LA. So either one of them could have standalone value. One of them will have standalone value, rather. We're not sure who's going to win that role outright, though, yet. So after Austin Ekeler, we have Aaron Jones of the Packers. No must handcuff for Jones, but A.J. Dillon is a might want to handcuff. He's a beast and could do a lot of damage there in the backfield. We do know that the Packers are going to lean more on the run this year, so maybe they get A.J. Dillon more involved, and maybe they continue to get Jamal Williams more involved. But neither one of them right now we see having standalone value for fantasy. So stick with Aaron Jones. After him, we have Chris Carson of the Seahawks. Carson can be somewhat injury prone. So Carlos Hyde, you might want to handcuff him. But if Carson was to go down to injury, it probably wouldn't be a majority Carlos Hyde backfield. It'll be some combination of Carlos Hyde and DJ Dallas and Rashad Penny when he gets off of the PUP list, which would be after the first 6 games of the season. So after Carson, that's our top 15. So I will give you the rest in the next installment. So wait with bated breath for that. Anyways, I hope everybody is doing well out there. I hope your fantasy drafts are going as planned, or are going to go as planned, and they will if you use the RosterWatch Ultimate Cheat Sheet. Anyways, this has been the Trashman on behalf of RosterWatch.com. Until next time, leave us a comment, give us a follow, get a subscription at RosterWatch.com. We want to hear from you. We'd love you to be a part of RosterWatch Nation, of our family here at RosterWatch. And until then, be ready.